Knowledge is basically information, accumulation of facts. Understanding is exactly that. It's having an understanding of why that knowledge is the case. So you might have knowledge, but if someone asks you why, and you're not able to answer the why to the knowledge you have, you're probably lacking understanding, and you need to get understanding. And then wisdom is knowing how to apply that knowledge and understanding. So you might have knowledge, you might even have understanding of how that knowledge works, but you might not have the wisdom on knowing when and how and where might be the right time, place, and method to apply that knowledge and understanding. So an example might be like, you might have knowledge that it's a good thing to treat others the way you want to be treated, right? You might have knowledge, okay, yep, I know this. I should treat others the way I want to be treated. But then understanding, if someone asks you why, well, why is that important? If you don't know, if you're like, oh, I don't know, it's just something I was taught and it's what I do. It's still good, but it's just knowledge at this point. Whereas if you have understanding, you're able to answer why that's important, because it's important to love one another, and if you think about the way you like to be treated and you treat someone else that way, well, that's what love does. It considers others, equal to yourself. And then you have some understanding on that piece of knowledge you have. And then wisdom is knowing how and when to apply it, right? So for example, you might have knowledge and understanding going along with this same theme we're using, treat others the way you want to be treated, but you might be lacking wisdom in that area. So for example, if someone is mistreating you, someone's sort of manipulating you, taking you for granted, could be a friend, could be a work colleague, they're constantly sort of like exploiting your good-naturedness to get you to do things for them, and maybe belittling you and stuff like that, and you don't have a lot of wisdom, but you think, oh well, I still got to keep treating them the way I want to be treated, so I still got to keep being nice, I still got to keep helping them, saying yes to them, all that kind of stuff. But really that might not be the case, and wisdom in that area might be learning how to say no in some instances, knowing how to set healthy boundaries, learning how to respect yourself a little bit more. It doesn't mean you be rude to the other person. You can still set boundaries and say no and things like that with respect and kindness. So that's how I understand, the Bible talks about, seek knowledge, seek, understanding, and, get wisdom, pray for wisdom. That's how I sort of understand those three different areas. The difference between knowledge, which is just the accumulation of facts, information, understanding why that knowledge or information actually is the way it is. It could be something so simple, like you might know a mathematical equation. You might know 5 + 5 = 10 because you learned it, you memorized it. But if someone asks you, well, why is 5 + 5, why does 5 + 5 = 10? If you don't have understanding, you won't know why. You know that 5 + 5 = 10, but you don't know why. And then when someone shows you why, that they show you through the working out, they show you 5 apples here, 5 apples there, you combine them all, it equals 10, count them, now you got understanding why 5 + 5 = 10. You get the knowledge, then you need to understand it, and then you can get wisdom on it through life experience, through learning from others, through learning directly from God. You get wisdom in knowing when and how to apply that knowledge. That's why they have that saying, a little bit of knowledge is dangerous. Because how many of us, we've all been guilty of this, and we know people that do this. You learn a new bit of information, you get a new bit of knowledge, and you're excited by this piece of knowledge you got, and you all of a sudden apply it to every situation. So you could be talking to a friend that's talking about a problem they're going through, and you're like, oh, I know what'll fix that. It's this new thing that I learnt about. and we all of a sudden think that this new piece of knowledge we got applies to everything and can fix any problem. And while there might be a little bit of truth to that, we haven't got understanding and wisdom yet in knowing that, well, yeah, maybe it doesn't apply to this situation, or maybe it does apply, but there's something else that applies even more.